Alright, only a 3-minute queue for DPS. I realized the best weapon I had was one of my one-handers, so we're back to dual-wielding Frost. I know some people didn't like this. I have always liked the dual-wielding combat style, so forgive me, I like dual-wielding Frost. Consider this a somewhat of a wrap-up to what we were dealing with. Hey, look, we actually get to keep the Covenant abilities here for this. To what we were doing in Ardenweald. Oh, the villager is now friendly. The lush grove called Tirna Scithe has ever been diligently protected by the Fey folk, for it is a sacred place said to hold ancient secrets. Legends warn that an unwary traveler... Gosh.
It's too far away.
That an unwary traveler might find themselves lost for an eternity, wandering its countless mist-shrouded paths. But as drought depletes the forests of Ardenweald, enemies seek to plunder the grove's potent magic. Even the realm's native denizens are driven by hunger and desperation to consume that which the Winter Queen holds most dear. Seems to be a relatively small... Well, but then again, maybe I'm not seeing it right. I'm gonna be I'm gonna get kind of irritated if I encounter people who are gonna be upset that, how do you not know the layout and everything about this dungeon already? Now I know it is technically possible to have done that. That you could have, gone online and actually looked up the info from people who were in the beta and such in order to try and get an idea as to why. Oh my gosh. As to what this dungeon is basically supposed to be about. But at the same time, not everyone is gonna be be able to do that or be willing to do that, or want to learn about it, when they're playing it for the first time. This is why in Plaguefall, when I went in as a tank, I let them know, hey, this is my first time in a dungeon, so cut me some slack. And the reason for that, you do that as a tank instead of a DPS, is because the tank is usually the one who's leading the way. The tank is the one who calls the shots, who leads the charge and is like, alright, we're going this way, and such, That's usually what the tank does. So, if I'm going to go in there as a tank, and I've never done the dungeon before, I prefer to let them know. But, sometimes I'll just simply go in as a DPS, knowing that I haven't done it before, so I'm not going to be like, You expect that they're gonna think you know how this dungeon works because you're in there as a tank. That's part of the responsibility of a tank, is knowing what's going on, what to do, how to deal with certain bosses, or the trash in the dungeon and such. The mechanics, so that if people are struggling, you can help kind of direct them, or be like, all right, so this is what we got to do. Like, the tank is usually supposed to be like the quarterback of a dungeon. I think that tank could have said that a little nicer. Okay, so, this may not be a great run. Because I can already tell there are some people kind of bickering at each other. Again, I don't know why this is in a thing when some people are literally trying to learn these dungeons for the first time. So why would you actually expect them to be incredibly knowledgeable and, you know, good at how to do the dungeon, you know? I'm guessing that our priest is a dis priest. So if our tank starts going, how come you're not healing? I mean, it's a dis priest. Healing is not exactly what dis priests do.
It's too far away.
Plus, these things, as I learned questing in Ardenweald, hit like a truck when they do that stomping thing. I learned when I was actually facing them as unholy that I was getting my face smashed in. Which is why I actually switched over to blood. So, our first boss is actually that guy right there. Ingra Malak. Cursed to exist outside the cycle of life and death, the Drust now seek to circumvent their fate using Ardenweald's mechanisms of rebirth. Their would-be conquest has found its way to Tirna Scithe, where Ingra Malak and his followers use foul magic to subjugate the local inhabitants. Were they waiting for me? Ready when you are.
Interrupt.
Spirit Bolt. Spirit Bolt. Bewildering pollen. Spirit Bolt.
You will do my bidding!
Tears of the
Interrupt.
Void.
Watch your feet. Interrupt. Watch your feet. Interrupt. Watch your feet.
Bewildering
Watch your
pollen.
feet.
Okay, that stuff hurts.
Tears of the Void.
Survive this.
Spirit Bolt.
Watch your feet.
Spirit Bolt.
Watch your feet. Interrupt.
Embrace darkness.
Darkness surrounds me! Obey me!
Tears of the Void. Spirit Bolt.
Endure.
Roman
Interrupt.
Spirit Bolt.
For your victory.
Alright, so now the Droman is helping us.
Roman's Wrath.
How dare you defy me!
Interrupt.
Spirit Bolt. Spirit Bolt. Bewildering pollen.
Cannot.
Spirit Bolt.
You will do my bidding!
Tears of the Spirit Bolt.
Endure. Watch your feet.
Spirit Bolt.
There we go.
Weak!
Ingra Malak falls silent. The forest sighs in gratitude. Brave the mists, the danger beyond, then our reunion.
Yay! More friends are here to play! Come along! Can you find your way through the mist? Choose wisely.
So if you're wondering,
And sigil show the way. One does not belong. One you must follow.
one of these things doesn't belong here.
Discern the path. Pierce the mists.
Nope. I think it's this one, actually. Hold on. Let me just double check. Yep. It's gotta be this one.
Discern the path. Pierce the mists.
Don't get lost!
Matching sigils. A path to nowhere. Only one way.
Or maybe it's this one.
One sigil of its kind.
Oops! Don't get lost!
Tirna Scithe is defended by force of arms, but also cunning. The playful Mist Caller has used the mist to confuse and disorient invaders. With the dust attack, the Mist Caller cannot easily tell friend from foe, and only after her puzzles and games are defeated can you safely reach the heart of Tirna Scithe. Okay, so apparently I had it wrong. It's not matching the symbols. Apparently it's the one that doesn't match there. So so that was my bad.
I need a target.
Leaf. Flower. Or maybe... Oh! Oh, wait. Like this one right here? Which was down over there. So that one was the flower. Because then I noticed
Hooray!
this one.
You're almost there!
Yeah, this is a little confusing. Okay, so apparently we were supposed to keep picking the leaf. So this is why you gotta cut people slack when it's like the first week the dungeon's out, so people are still trying to learn how it works. There's the leaf, okay.
Did it! Good guess!
Oh, hey, look! It's funny when you start recognizing things where you're like, what was this mount they introduced some time ago? And then it pops up here, and you're like, oh, now I get it. Where do we move her? Or where are we supposed to move her? Oh, she's getting health back. Why? Oh, okay, so that disorients me. And I can't use grab to move it out of there, so... Look, see the health coming back? I think the pets might actually be interfering with that. Or maybe the tank doesn't realize you gotta move them out of the pool when it spawns, because that's not mine. You know what's funny? My thing actually looks just like the pool. Okay, now we've got it. Alright. What's funny is our healer is completely fine on mana. Oh, hold on. Oh.
Oops! Don't get lost!
I think we may have picked the wrong one. So let's see, which one is this? Oh, this is the leaf.
Sorry, try again!
Okay, that's the flower. And that's the leaf.
Uh-oh! That wasn't right!
So apparently we don't just keep picking the leaf.
Hooray! You're almost there!
Okay. Yeah, I imagine some players are going to hate this dungeon simply because of the mismatching game. Especially when it comes to Mythic Plus. I can already tell people are going to hate this because people are going to miss out on times for keys because they mess up on the puzzle. Now what's funny is I'm seeing those over there and I'm like,
Sorry, try again!
Alright, what is this one right here? So if the circle is right... Nope.
Get lost!
Very interesting. But I can already tell people are going to get so angry and frustrated about this. There's going to be some rage quitting from this. I can already tell.
Hooray! You're
There we
almost
go.
there!
Circled leaf.
Hooray! You're almost there!
Alright, we finally found her. So, she's gonna play, apparently, a guessing game. This is gonna be interesting. Freeze tag, patty cake, dodgeball, and guessing game. During freeze tag, avoid the illusionary Vulpin even if it's not chasing you. Only the target of pancakes can interrupt the cast.
We're gonna have so much fun.
Stay away
Can't
from them.
dodge this.
Dodgeball!
You! I want to play with you! One of us is not like the others.
Interesting. I wonder if the Demon Hunter could actually use the vision to take it out. Now what I'm noticing, look at my nameplates thing.
That wasn't me,
Nope.
silly.
Let me guess, if we take out the wrong clone, it hurts us?
Wow, you're really good at this.
Stay away from them.
Which one's the real me? Yay! I win this round! Here I am!
Stay away from
What's
them.
this? Let's play a
Guessing game again. With a sigil that is different from the others, ends the game.
You found me! Great job! That was fun! I haven't played like that in so long! Let's do it again!
The time for play has passed. The winds urge us forward.
Aw, okay. No more myths. Hey!
Many deals for a friend of
Doesn't
Grumbles
look right at all.
like you.
Tirna Scithe withers as the Gorm feast. Balance must be restored.
That... Something's off about that. Oh boy, a lot of Gorm. They're probably worried I was about to do the, oh, hold on. Path of Frost. There we go. Oh, but wait, we have a couple of priests, so of course they were like, levitate! Alright, let's get rid of this levitate. Hey, look, we have the same mount. Oh, man, those shields they put on themselves are annoying, especially if you don't have some kind of dispel to remove it. Alright, so the Shadow Priest is spamming Shadow Mend in chat. Huh. Telling the other priest to heal. Because apparently this guy feels like he has to do the healing because the other one is not. Again, I don't think they really get what a disciplined priest does. It's like, if you're expecting a disc priest to just, you know, spam heals, no, that's not how that works. It's not what disc priests do. If that's what you want, you'd have to ask them to switch to the Holy Priest. Yep. Discipline Priest. So, the final boss is Tredova. The Gorm have been chewing at the edges of Ardenweald, devouring dissected husks of the dead. The beast called Tredova has gorged herself on something far more precious, the wild seed of Lakal. Is that Lakal or Lakali? The Loa of Knowledge. Now that Tredova has tasted the Loa's power and wisdom, she hungers for more than survival. Lakali. So it looks like the Loa of Knowledge is not coming back.
Consume, devour, be shamed.
Watch your step.
Shut up. I become so much more.
Interrupt.
No avoiding this one.
Watch your step. Enhance.
Come, children, who are
Uh-oh.
Watch your step.
I must have more. Enlightenment dawns upon me.
Interrupt. Watch your feet.
I can predict your
Watch your
every
step.
maneuver.
Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh.
Your ignorance
Relax.
made manifest. Your
Accelerated
flesh
incubation.
will nourish my offspring. I can predict your every
Watch your step.
maneuver. The
Mind
lightless abyss of your sight. Such exquisite knowledge.
Lakali slumbers, knowledge intact. Time will be his sign. Tirna Scithe will remember you, always.
And that right there is the kind of interaction I like to have with some players at the end of a dungeon. Especially if they start, questioning. I'm like, hey, look.
I have many lucky doos. You like?
I think you did a decent job. I didn't like that everyone was getting on the healer when they didn't realize that he's a discipline priest and he's not really supposed to be doing a bunch of heals, but I'm like, that's not how a discipline priest works. I mean, how many years? But, I mean, I know there's some players that, we even still have players coming in. But it's funny how sometimes people just still continue to forget that discipline priests don't just straight up heal like a holy priest does. I mean, anyone who has been playing since Wrath understands this, because that's what made a discipline priest so beloved and coveted, especially when you got to the Lich King. So, I wanted to already be there in Ardenweald to turn this quest in. However, the thing is... Whoops. Why isn't it showing up here? I was going to go to the Flight Master here to head over there, and as I was going over here, I noticed this. And I realized I didn't want this to possibly be a cutscene or some dialogue for the story that we were going to miss out on. So, I'm going to walk by here in case something happens. And apparently nothing happens. But I have a feeling we may need to remember these names.
Why would anyone walk anywhere? Remember, a safe flight is a boring flight.
I like that. That guy. First off, why would anyone walk anywhere? The other one was... what was it? He said, like, a safe flight is not a fun flight. Or something like that. And of course, what do we have as our little mounts here in this area? But bats. I believe that is Castle Nathria in the background. It's not showing the entrance to the dungeon. Probably not until I actually do a certain portion of the story before that happens, so... So this will be our first time seeing what it's like to go from one zone to another, as opposed to one zone to Oribos, and then to another zone. Will I just ignore Oribos, or will I actually fly through in order to get there? Also, are we going to have to take Flight Masters to go from one zone to the other, even after we unlock flying? Or are we somehow actually going to be able to literally fly through these in order to get to those zones? I'm very curious how it's going to work when flying gets introduced in Shadowlands. Because, of course, it's going to happen. Anyone who's hopeful that flying won't be around in Shadowlands, don't get your hopes up. So, back in Ardenweald we are. And it's, oh, that view is still so beautiful. What a gorgeous view. So, I can tell you right now, there are some people that run Mythic Plus, they're going to hate this dungeon. And it's all going to be because of Mistcaller. Mistcaller is going to be the bane of numerous people who do Mythic Plus dungeons. Because of the messing up the path in order to get there, which is going to take time off the timer in order to reach her. Then they have to do that game, which is going to be cause a number of issues, especially if every time you get, like, pick the wrong one, you take a bunch of damage. I can already predict it, just looking forward into the future. People get so worked up and stingy on whether or not they make the timer. I can already see one mess up on those, and someone's gonna leave. And that's when the key just gets ruined.
What would you leave behind?
Word of your aid has been sung through the roots. Thank you, friend of the forest.
You have always been part of the cycle.
I am now friendly with the Wild Hunt. So the reps that have been introduced: the Court of Harvesters, the Ascended, the Venari, the Undying Army, and the Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt is the only one. I am dubious with Venari. Oh, that's right. Wait, Venari has her own rep? That's interesting. Venari's gaze feels dubious. I'm very curious about that. So an interesting little dungeon.
I have many, many wares.
Looks like based on this here, the next dungeon that would be up would be the Halls of Atonement. I wonder what that's going to be like. Obviously, it has to do with Revendreth. And then some of the other dungeons, obviously, that's going to be something that happens when we hit 60, which is not too far off, as you can see. So, when we come back, we will be heading back to Revendreth to continue questing and the story in Revendreth. Stay tuned.